back-to-back home runs for just the second time in his career. Halladay gave up another homer in the ninth. The second time he's given up 3 homers to the Yanks this season. The Jays battled back and made it a nervous ninth for one of the game's greatest closers. But in the bitter end, the Yankees won out, setting up Game 2 in this mini set. Next on TSN. Absolutely beautiful night in downtown Toronto. The Yankees and Blue Jays. Blue Jays trying to bounce back after a 5-3 defeat last night under the tower. We are in high definition TSN HD once again. And hi, baseball fans, alongside Pat Tabler, I'm Rod Black. Welcome to Blue Jays baseball on TSN. The Doc took one on the chops in the late innings last night. A real good baseball game. Jays against the American League East Division leaders. The Blue Jays pulling out some positives right now, and if you have to look at one, certainly has to be in number 2.
Yeah, Aaron Hill's really become a complete major league player, defensively and offensively. 26 home runs this year for Aaron Hill, and he's handling every pitch that a pitcher throws up there. Fastballs, breaking balls, changeups, anywhere, up, down, in, out. And I think it really benefits where he's hitting in the lineup. He's hitting behind a very hot Marco Scutaro, and he's hitting in front of a very good hitter in Adam Lynn. Aaron Hill's really blossomed into a complete player this year.
And an all-star, and a guy who's on a 13-game hit streak.
4 times he has had hit streaks of 9 games or more. You want to be a consistent player as a major leaguer. Aaron Hill has done that so far this year.
We had a great pitching duel here last night. Andy Pettit and Roy Halladay. Here's our starting pitchers tonight.
Mark Zebczynski has been very impressive for me. I like his poise. I like his command. I like when he's out on the pitcher's mound, he throws a lot of strikes. And Sergei Mitre, the whole key for him, he's got to throw strikes and he's got to stay down in the strike zone.
That's a big ERA for Mitre. So Zebczynski and the Jays against the Yankees, looking for a bounce-back night here at Rogers Center coming your way. We play ball when we come back on TSN.
is brought to you by Rogers, Canada's fastest mobile network. 3 times faster than any other. Visit rogers.com/fastest.
Crowd settling in here. Lovely Wednesday night. Early August in Toronto. Here's the hitting lineup for Joe Girardi and his Yankees as he goes down the row. American League East leaders, Boston losing in extra innings last night. Derek Jeter, Johnny Damon, Mark Teixeira hit a bomb last night. Now 27 homers on the season and really good the last couple of weeks. A-Rod, look at those numbers against the Toronto Blue Jays. DHing tonight, Alex Rodriguez. Nick Swisher in the lineup, Robinson Cano. Melky Cabrera in center field. Jerry Hairston Jr., a recent pickup. He will be at third base tonight. And Jose Molina catches. Jorge Posada has the night off.
Mark Zebczynski 1-2 with a tidy 325 earned run average. He has not pitched since last Tuesday in Seattle when he went 5 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs and striking out a career high, Rod, 8 batters. Still picked up a no decision in that game as the Jays lost 4-3 to the Mariners. Scouting report for the young left-hander here tonight as you take a look at his battery mate, Rod Barajas. He's got good fastball with tailing action, and that one's going to have to stay on the corners here tonight. He is mixing well the curveball, the slider, and the changeup, along with that good fastballs. And the K's are coming. He has thrown 27 2/3 innings, and he has 30 strikeouts this year. Again, a career high his last time out a week ago. The defense for the Toronto Blue Jays, #1 in the American League in fielding percentage. Here's how they'll line up. Joe Inglet gets his 8th start in the outfield. He'll be joined by Wells and Rios. The infield, third to first, Encarnacion, Scudero, Hill, and Overbay. Rod Barajas will catch Mark Zebczynski. Marco Scudero with just 3 errors this year, playing a great shortstop.
Rob Drake behind the plate tonight. Mark Wegner, Tim Timmons, Jeff Kellogg, who was behind the plate last night, the crew chief down the third base line. We're ready to play ball here at Rogers Center tonight. Zebczynski faces Derek Jeter for the very first time. And the New York Yankees, Jeter an 0-for-4 night last night. One of those rarities against the Blue Jays. 249 career hits for Jeter against Toronto. Tops among active players. Rod Barajas has to shake a shot off early.
So you want to be a big league catcher.
I don't think so.
Whole thing for Mark Zebczynski tonight, and we talked about it during SportsCenter, is he has to command the strike zone. He has to throw strikes. If there's been one problem, it's been the base on balls, and they seem to come in bunches for Zebczynski. It's always that one inning where he might walk 2, 3, hit a batter, something like that. The Yankees are very good at working the count and getting on base. #1 in the American League in base on balls with a staggering 446 walks this year.
Zebczynski climbs the ladder. Last night, Jeter played in his 2085th career game. You take a look at this pitch. He moves into 4th place all-time on the Yankees list for games played. Zebczynski elevates, fires to first.
Got to field your position, and that's one thing that we've seen from Mark Zebczynski is when he lets go of that ball, he is in good position to field it. Not a very exaggerated follow through. He's right in good position and athletically gets up and throws out Jeter.
Here's the guy who had one of the killer blows last night, Johnny Damon. 2-for-4 night, and of course the home run in the 8th inning. The Yankees up 3-1 at that point, and then followed right behind him by Mark Teixeira, back-to-back off Roy Halladay.
They were asking him after the game, you know, what is it with you and Roy Halladay? Your career average against Halladay is up over 350 now. He says, hey, this guy is always around the plate, so I'm just trying to put good wood on it. It's hard to square the ball up against Roy Halladay. Last night he said he just hit a mistake, the curveball for the home run.
Halladay admitted he made 2 mistakes. It was back-to-back home runs, and then one later to Hideki Matsui. of rare for Roy Halladay. Off form. Gives up 3 home runs twice against the Yankees this year. Back-to-back home runs for only the 2nd time in his career.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't a whole lot.
No.
When we pulled that stat out last night, that it was only the 2nd time.
There's strike 3. Joe Girardi talked about this before the game, Pat Tabler, and I know you've probably gone through it. When you face a young pitcher, you know, they've got so much video on pitchers as it is now, but when you don't have a large body of work and you're not really knowing the tendencies or expectations of a guy, is it a little bit more difficult for a major league player?
Yeah, it is. You can watch all the tape that you want, but it's nothing like standing in that box and seeing the rotation on the ball and how it breaks, or when will he throw that breaking ball, when will he throw fastballs. There's all kind of different things in there. I anticipate watching these Yankee batters the first time through attempt to take a lot of pitches just to try and get a feel of what Zepchinski's going to try and do to him.
Mark Teixeira, the switch hitting first baseman, signed an enormous contract with the Yankees in the offseason. Has hit 27 home runs, moved into 2nd place in the American League last night ahead of Aaron Hill, just behind Justin Morneau. Teixeira has hit 22 left-handed and 5 right-handed.
It's been good on the road, too. The Yankees play a lot of road games after this All-Star break, and he's been very good so far on this long road trip.
Ground ball down to Edwin Encarnacion. Strong arm over to first. 1, 2, 3, top of the first for Mark Zepchinski and the Blue Jays. First, Marco Scutaro, the class clown. He gets his team going. Leading off, as always, the 4th place Blue Jays, 13 back of the Yankees. Aaron Hill riding a 13-game hit streak, batting 2nd. Followed by Adam Lind, DHing tonight. Lyle Overbay back in the lineup. Cleanup. Vernon Wells, Alex Rios, Encarnacion, Rod Barajas, and Joe England in left field, bats 9th.
That is the lineup that Sergio Mitre will face. Mitre was called up from AAA's Grant Wilkes-Barre 2 weeks ago when Shin-Ming Wong was placed on the disabled list and lost for the year. They are searching for a number 5 starter with Wong on the DL. Yankees have won 2 of his 3 starts, even though he's given up 13 runs in 13 2/3 innings.
You mean they couldn't go out and buy one?
I'm sure they tried.
They get them in vending machines, don't they? When Chin-Ming Wong went down, there was a lot of talk about them going out and making another major trade to acquire a big league pitcher like a Roy Halladay.
Don't know if they had the chips in their farm system to match up with some of the teams that we heard about. But Joe Girardi had them when he was with the Florida Marlins. He likes them. Says that when he can stay on top of his pitches and get that downward movement on his sinker, he can help. It's just that he's been messed up his last few starts, has not been throwing consistent strikes.
Scudero will go back to the dugout. Mitre opens with a strikeout. The red hot Aaron Hill. Another hit streak. 13 games and counting.
We showed that in the opening. Those 13 games, 20 hits during these 13 games. And they aren't punch and Judy type hits. A lot of extra base hits for Hill, stinging the ball all over the ballpark.
Reached out for that one, fouled it away. Beard's getting a little thicker on Aaron, isn't it?
It's like he trimmed it up over the last few days.
Yeah.
You know, when you're hot and you've got something like that going, don't mess with it.
No.
13-game hit streak.
His numbers off the charts this year. Record-breaking season. Back-to-back strikeouts for Mitre.
Yeah, some nasty stuff also to get Scudero and now Aaron Hill. Let's take a look at the scouting report for the veteran. His fastball has got very good sink. We saw that with Scudero. I think it might have surprised him a little bit when he threw it by him for strike three. Stay in the game. Joe Girardi needs 5, 6, 7 good innings from Mitre. And he's had troubles in the first. His first couple of starts, he gave up an ERA of 14 runs. But so far, so good. The first two batters here.
Here's Adam Lind. .48 home runs between the two. Aaron Hill and Adam Lind, the number 2 and 3. Breakout years for both players. Adam 4 for his last 8. This is not the first time that Mitre has faced the Blue Jays.
He has made 56 starts now in his career. 28 years old. This is his second appearance versus the Jays.
Sliced away foul.
He pitched for the Cubs in the National League back in 2005 when Toronto faced him, and in that game 7 scoreless innings, and he picked up the win against Toronto. Just gave up a couple of scratch hits.
Hit hard, base hit, pass to Shera, and Adam Lind has first base.
Yankees played good defense last night. A lot of balls hit on the nose, but right at the defenders. They made the plays. Here's how they'll line up tonight. Dick Swisher gets the start in right field with Cabrera and Damon, Teixeira, Cano, Jeter, and Jerry Hairston Jr. giving A-Rod a night off at third base. Jose Molina, the veteran, gives Jorge Posada a chance to catch his breath, and he will do the catching here tonight. A lot of balls last night that a foot here, a foot there, and it would have definitely been different. Marco Scudero lined out to third base. Alex Rios hit a ball with the bases loaded hard to right field. Derek Jeter got a couple of line drives that Andy Pettit kind of jokingly after the game said probably tore his shoulder off. But those were good plays.
Lyle Overbay had the night off last night. Molina, who gives Posada a night off tonight. Molina's very good defensively behind the plate, and he can throw guys out.
Well, he's quick. He's a lot like Raul Chavez, where he's very active behind the plate. He's got quick feet. He likes to throw behind runners. He was looking to try and catch Adam Lind napping there.
Ball and a strike, 2 away. Lind at first base here in the first inning.
It's nice to have a veteran like a Jose Molina behind the plate as your backup catcher. Posada is the #1 catcher, but when Molina is in there, they have catcher's ERA, and his is very good. Best on the team.
Up the middle, Cano can't get to it. Lind scurries around second. And now runners at the corners, back to back. Base hits here in the first inning.
The Yankees, like the Blue Jays, really like to squeeze the middle on defense. With a left-handed hitting Lyle Overbay, Robinson Cano was playing very deep into the pull side. Ground ball under his glove. Adam Lind reads it, sees that the center fielder Cabrera's got to move for the ball, and he makes it easily into third base. A base hit for Lyle Overbay, and some 2-out lightning and a chance for the Jays to jump ahead.
Vernon Wells. Hit the ball hard last night. Double that almost tied the game. A few more feet. Would have been a 3-run shot in that 8th inning. Scored 2 last night. Trying to get those numbers up, particularly at home. He has struggled this year.
You know, we talked to Cito Gaston before the game, and we were talking about the offense. And he says, we're getting guys on base, but we're not scoring them. And it's true. They're in the middle in runs scored in the American League. They're in the middle of the pack in home runs, but they are towards the bottom, leaving runners on base. Only 2 teams in the American League have left more runners on base than the Blue Jays this year. One of them is the New York Yankees, who've got that great on-base percentage that we talked about. They get a lot of base on balls. Yankees have left 800 runners on base. Blue Jays right behind them at 789. So they have not come up with the big hits.
Base hit. Blue Jays on the board. Timely hit this time for Vernon Wells.
There you go. Don't try and pull Sergio Mitre with that good sinker. Try and shoot one through the right side. Vernon Wells comes up with a clutch 2-out RBI single. Slow everything down, track it, and hit the ball the other way. He's rewarded with an RBI single.
That has never really been in the template of Vernon Wells going the other way. He's always been a pull happy hitter. Perfect timing for him here.
Perfect timing for the Blue Jays. First 2 batters, Mitre looked unhittable, striking out Scudero and then Aaron Hill. 3 straight singles have played the first run of the game. Troubles in the first, remember?
You're right. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah. Do the scouting, right?
Mr. Analyst.
Gave up 3 his his last time out against the Chicago White Sox. That in the first inning.
Alex Rios, a little looper that will drop. Here comes Overbay, and the Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead. 2 strikeouts for Mitre, and then 4 consecutive base hits.
Not hit hard, but they find a hole. A lot different from last night. Watch Robinson Cano kind of bluff in behind second base like he's going to put a pickoff play on, and the ball's blooped down into the spot where he might have been standing. I don't know if he would have had it, but no chance when he tried that pickoff.
Last night, the Blue Jays were 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Tonight, already 2 for 2.
Hitting with runners in scoring position. That's part of the offense that Cito said has been lacking this year. Right, he says we're getting them on base. We're getting 10 hits here, 11 hits there, whatever. We just can't get them in. So far, so good tonight.
And as we mentioned, it doesn't have to be a knockout of the ballpark. Sometimes you can just a little dink here, a little dunk there, and bingo, 2 runs on the board. Hairston. That's the 3rd out, but the Blue Jays on 4 singles score 2 runs and have the early lead here at Rogers Center. Guess who's coming to the plate?
You can tell.
The lightning rod, A-Rod.
From the reaction of the crowd.
They love him in New York. Not so much in other places. DH tonight, Alex Rodriguez.
He has always had good numbers here at Rogers Center. A couple of hits in last night's game, a double to right field, and that infield single. Felt like he was lunging at pitches. He has been working on it in batting practice. The key for him now is to stay back. That first at bat he had last night against Halladay was a great example of that. Took a ball away from him and stayed back and drove it to right field for that double.
Good pitch by Zepchinski. Here's a guy who draws a lot of headlines. Alex Rodriguez, tabloid fodder. The burden, I suppose, you have when you have such an enormous contract and all that talent. Strike 3. So Zepchinski has struck out Damon and A-Rod so far tonight in his first start against the Yankees. Catcher Rod Barajas has caught a lot of youngsters, a lot of rookies this season. Mark Zepchinski is the latest.
The big thing with him, he's got such a good sinking fastball, and it moves so much. There's times where he can't keep it on the plate. That's an adjustment he has to make. We can tell him over and over again, but when you're throwing balls off the plate consistently and you can't get that strike over the plate, you got to set your sights more towards the middle. And I think once he's able to do that, throw the ball down the middle of the plate and let the ball work for him. Like I said, he's got such great movement. The ball sinks, it runs, and his ability to throw strikes with that fastball is going to be the biggest key for him.
There have been a lot of pitchers in the major leagues who take that philosophy. You've got so much movement on your pitches. You can make it sink or you can cut it. So why not aim right down the middle of the plate, throw it with that great natural movement, and let the ball do all the work? I know Tom Seaver used to talk about the catcher's shin guard. That's where he was aiming. The tops of their shin guards, where their knees are. That was his focus point when he was on the mound. And he was going to try and hit those shin guards wherever they are.
Remember that patented delivery of Seaver with that leg on the ground, coming to the plate?
Power in those legs.
Power. All at 2 strikes to Nick Swisher. And the base hit, knock up the middle. Good pickup for the New York Yankees, Nick Swisher.
Yeah, I think so. I think he brings an attitude to this team. He can play first base. He can play the outfield. But that New York attitude, confidence. He's had a good year, too.
Here's Robinson Cano, the Yankees' second baseman, and now Zepchinski from the stretch. As Roy Halladay, I'm sure, has told Zepchinski, and Brad Arnsberg has told Zepchinski, and Rod Barajas has told him, and Cito Gaston, there is no let-up with the Yankees.
We were talking about that tonight over dinner. There are some teams where there is an out in the lineup as that ball is lifted to left field and Inglet's under it for out number 2, where you might face a light-hitting shortstop or a center fielder who slaps the ball, or in the case of pitching in the National League, the pitcher. But when you face the Yankees and the Red Sox and some of these great hitting teams, there is no taking off of any of those batters. Every pitch has to have a purpose. With young pitchers, that could really run you down, especially guys who aren't used to pitching as many innings as some of these young players and pitchers have this year. Could really wear on you pitching in the AL East.
Plus the aura of pitching against guys that you only saw on television before, and suddenly you strike one of them out, and the next pitch you give up to a guy who's maybe doesn't have the prestige.
Well, that you have to put away. You can't think about that. You're out here to do a job. And Zepchinski does it. Flying out to Vernon Wells. Pitching with a 2-run lead.
Montreal. Wendy's Friday Night Football will be there Friday night. Alouettes, Argonauts, and then off to Vancouver, BC Place. The Lions and Saskatchewan Roughriders doubleheader. Another week in the Canadian Football League as we bring you to downtown Toronto. Inside Rogers Center. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead to the bottom of the second inning. Rod Barajas, Joe Inglet, then Marco Scutero to face Sergio Mitre.
Mitre ran into a little trouble in his last start and felt that he wasn't getting on top of his sinker ball. Says, I'm a sinker ball pitcher. When I don't get on top, instead of the ball going down, it goes side to side. That was a good one right there. So he's been working on it. Says it's just a little bit of a mechanical flaw. So you got to gather yourself a little bit more over that mound and stay on top of that ball. Make it go down. Yankees have had some trouble with that 5th spot in their pitching rotation
For a number of years.
Chien-Ming Wang goes down. Now, he wasn't their 5th starter. He turns out to be their 5th starter when he went down. And I was reading one of the newspapers from New York, one of the candidates that if Mitre doesn't do the job and doesn't turn it around, could be the pitcher who just won the International League Pitcher of the Week. Ball on the ground and 1 out. And that pitcher, Josh Towers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is pitching for Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
Name from the past. Well, the Yankees have the rotation set up for a big weekend against the Boston Red Sox. Starting tomorrow night, Jabba Chamberlain, A.J. Burnett, C.C. Sabathia, and Andy Pettitte.
Yeah, they tweaked their starting rotation for that purpose, to get their 4 top pitchers pitching against Boston, who they have not beat. They haven't beaten them yet this year.
8.
Yeah.
Red Sox leading Tampa Bay 1-0 right now early in that ball game. The Yankees begin the night. Game and a half up on the Red Sox. Lost in extra innings in Tampa last night thanks to Evan Longoria. And don't forget about those Tampa Bay Rays by any stretch.
No, if they get that starting rotation on a roll like we all think they can. Scott Kazmir seems to be a little bit better. Shields and Garza have been great all year. They just don't get any runs. David Price is going tonight, I believe. Get those 4 guys on a roll, along with Neiman. They can run off, 10, 12 in a row.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to Inglet. Here are the standings right now, and it's now the dog days of August. And you would have to think that Tampa would be buoyed by what they went through last year and the fact that they were able to get to October and get to the World Series.
They can play from behind also. 1 more win and they have 60 wins. That'd be 3 teams with 60 wins in the American League East. There's only 2 other teams in all of baseball with 60 wins, the 2 LA teams. And 3 of them would be in the AL East as Inglet slaps that ball into right field. 5 hits now for the Jays.
Yeah. And have to think that perhaps one of these teams will get the wild card. If they don't, unless somebody else goes on a roll, somebody's going to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, one of these teams, maybe 2, don't make it. So it's going to make for a great September. The Blue Jays play pretty much those 3 teams from here on out, so they'll have a say in the AL East.
Marco Scutero gets his second look at Sergio Mitre. Got caught looking at a strike 3 pitch. The Blue Jays have 37 games left against the AL East of their 56 remaining.
If that's one disappointment, it's been their record against the AL East this year. They've played well against the other divisions, but when they've gotten into the East, things have not worked out.
The worst record in the AL East, as a matter of fact, just 12 and 23. Little pitch out here, that and interleague play, and also their lack of productivity in 1-run and 2-run ball games. That killed them. No team has lost more 1-run ball games than the Blue Jays. Pounded on the ground and fouled away again by Scudero.
If you're wondering what their record is in 1-run games, 12 and 20. They've lost 21 1-run games.
A 2-run loss again last night. Not much better in 2-run games.
8 and 12. So 32 losses. And that usually comes down to a clutch hit here, a clutch pitch made there. Something that was happening for the Jays at the beginning of the year.
Right up the middle, Mitre knocks it down. We'll try to turn 2 here. Good slide, good hard slide by Joe Inglet. Breaks it up.
Again, you have to field your position. Mitre with some quick reflexes to snare that ball off the bat of Marco Scudero. And then the presence of mind to get the lead runner. This ball hit hard right at him. Bobbles it just for a second. Presence of mind to throw a strike to Cano. But then the good hard slide by Inglet. You see him take the leg out of Cano right there to stay out of that double play.
Aaron Hill swinging on the first pitch. Had a chance to chat with Aaron earlier tonight. Talked about Derek Jeter a little bit, getting a chance to be around him at the All-Star game. Hill said it was a big thrill. Looked up to Derek Jeter, and you might think, because he wears number 2, that's one of the reasons he likes that number, but it's not.
Who is it?
Aaron Hill's number growing up was number 5, but when he got here, somebody else had number 5. The manager, John Gibbons. So he said, well, 2 is kind of a upside down 5. So that's why he wears it.
All the great players wear number 5, don't they?
Some great ones haven't they? I remember growing up wearing it. Johnny Bench was my favorite.
Oh, sure.
George Brett.
Joe DiMaggio, Albert Pujols. The list goes on and on.
On and on. 1-5 was a pretty good number, too.
1-5? That can only mean one person. You're pretty good.
Yeah. Seen a few of those Tabler jerseys around here.
No.
You see a lot of them.
Kids were wearing.
See a lot of them this weekend at the back-to-back reunion. 2-2, and Aaron Hill goes down on strikes for the second time tonight. We head to the 3rd inning with the Blue Jays owning a 2-0 lead over the Yankees here. Nice Wednesday night for baseball.
make you pay for it. No, I'm just kidding.
I can see that. I know you're excited.
Yes.
Joe Carter might be in here later tonight, by the way. He's flying in, and I know he was twittering earlier today. I think he's got a late-night flight, but he's coming in. Big golf tournament tomorrow for the Blue Jays. Jays Care Foundation. Jerry Hairston Jr.
And then the big game, the big one on Friday night.
Friday night, they want to load this place up, and I know they've been working on this back-to-back reunion for some time. We had Robbie Alomar here last night. Robbie Butler's in the house tonight, was part of that 93 World Championship team.
Saw Jack Morris in the lobby today.
Blackjack.
All right, over there in the hotel.
Eddie Sprague was in town. I heard he was golfing today. Woody Williams.
So they're starting to filter in. And Friday's going to be so special. And there are tickets available. So come down. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Ball and a strike to Hairston Jr. 2 families in baseball, 3 generations, 3 families, 2 other families besides the Hairstons, the Boones and the Bells. They came by it naturally.
It's a good pickup for the Yankees. We were talking about it a little bit in last night's broadcast. Hairston played right field for him late in that game. Tonight he gets to play third base to give A-Rod a little bit of a break, get him off the turf. He can also play shortstop, second base. If you need a pinch runner, spin around, pinch hitter. Those little kind of deals like that go under the radar, you know, end up being big ones come September and October.
3 balls and 2 strikes. A-Rod, who hears a lot of stuff. Should wear earplugs in Toronto. Down to first base. The appeal, Mark Wagner says no. So Hairston has a walk. The first walk issued by Zepchinski. And if that has been an Achilles heel this season, it's those base on balls.
Yeah, he has to throw strikes. That time, Hairston held up on that breaking ball. I like seeing young pitchers come up here facing good teams like the Yankees. Get yourself into a 3-2 count. Hey, here's not a fastball. I don't want to walk you. I'm not afraid to walk you. Throw him a breaking ball. He almost came up with another strikeout.
Jose Molina, the number 9 hitter. 254 average. What a family of catching brothers. Benji, who was a former Blue Jay, Yadier.
Having a big year. Yadier in St. Louis. Saw an article about him the other day. They did a kind of impromptu, who's the best catcher in the National League? He won it. Yadier Molina as the best defensive catcher in the National League.
At one time, they were just saying, who's the best catcher of the Molina brothers? They all have their strengths. They've all had very good careers. It's pretty remarkable when you think about it. 3 brothers, all catchers, all getting to the bigs.
I thought there was another one. I thought there were 4. Could be wrong. Could be thinking of somebody else. That would be 3 brothers, 3 big leaguers.
It'd be hard on the family when you think about it. To have all that equipment, I guess the older brother just hands it down.
Yeah, you only have to buy one set.
Yeah. As long as they played on the same team, but I guess they wouldn't. Sure, as they grew up, they all followed each other. 2 balls and a strike to Molina. Derek Jeter on deck. 5 hits for the Blue Jays so far. Just 1 hit by the Yankees here in the 3rd inning. Chinsky taking his time here with Jerry Hairston on first base.
Stolen base isn't that big of a play for the Yankees. Hairston doesn't have that big of a lead either. But keeping a very close eye on him over there at first base. Mark Zebchinski has been an incredible story this year. Started in Double-A. Those are his numbers, Double-A and Triple-A. He was pitching in A-ball last year. Good numbers, Double-A, Triple-A, with all the injuries that the Blue Jays have had to their starting rotation. They've needed somebody. The reports were good on him. They brought him up here, and he has really fit in. Doesn't look like he's overwhelmed by the big leagues. Good poise on the mound. Been throwing strikes.
Strikeout. Hairston quickly caught back to first base.
That's just a good veteran heads-up play by Hairston. They give him the sign, hey, we're going to start the runner to stay out of the double play. Molina doesn't run that well, but then peeks in and sees that Molina swings through the 3-2 pitch, and when Barajas throws down to second base, he just stops and hustles back. I don't know if Aaron Hill got a good grip on that ball. So he just holds it. The double play is still in order, but a good heads-up play there by Hairston.
One away, Derek Jeter grounded back to Zebchinski to start the ball game. Oh, good pitch.
Just not familiar with his breaking ball. Very rarely do you see Derek Jeter take swings like that where he's so fooled. Sees it, swings right over the top of it. Now he's going to put that in the memory banks. Say, okay, if I get the 2 strikes, that's a pitch I might see. So I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer and see it first. We were talking about that earlier, that you can watch all the tape, and there's now tape for Zebchinski because he's been around for a while and he's thrown a few starts. This is his 6th start. So there's film, but again, nothing like standing in there and watching that rotation, ball coming out of his hand. Does he hide the ball? You know, things like that, all those little things that you have to kind of like put into the thought process when you're thinking about hitting.
Well, a good count for Jeter. 3 balls and a strike. And stings him up the middle. Hairston will remain at second base, advancing there, and Derek Jeter continues his assault on the Yankee record books.
Well, they're so good, and it starts at the top of the order are the New York Yankees with Jeter, Damon, and Teixeira. A lot of production from those 3, setting it up for the big boys in the middle of the lineup. Jeter, I think, sets the tone offensively with his grinded-out, tough, hard-nosed type of leadership at the top of the lineup. Johnny Damon, 18 home runs, 60 driven in as the number 2 guy. And then Teixeira with his big year.
Johnny Damon, also a guy who is a hit machine. Slapped the ball one way. He's got some pop still. 35 years old. Goes the other way. Down the line for Englet. Oh. just unable to hang on to it. Very close.
Ball kept slicing away from Joe Inglet, the left fielder. He is shading Damon that way, but the ball kept drifting on him, and he went hard into that wall. He's got his eye on the ball. You see he has to reach out for it, and it was just off of his glove, and that right knee hit the wall pretty hard.
Unfortunately, it's padded, but that still hurts.
Not as much as you think.
No, exactly. Try running into it. The other way past Hill. Hairston getting the wave. Here's the throw from Rios. The relay to third base, and safe is Jeter. And the crowd hates this as the Yankees get on the board. Last night also a very close call on the base paths that appeared that the Blue Jays actually were able to gun down a Yankee, but let's take a look at this.
That led to a couple of runs also in the first inning. Hill can't knock it down. Rios comes up gunning, but the throw is cut off by Overbay, who spins, and there's a throw and a peg over to third base. They were not going to get Hairston, who just gets a good secondary lead. The ball wasn't hit that hard, but there's a shot at Jeter at third base. Cut off. The throw's there, but he is just ahead of the throw. So good aggressive base running by Jeter.
I got a good call by Jeff Kellogg. It was Rodriguez last night at second base. Replay's pretty close. Mark Teixeira. 2 on and 1 away. Encarnacion will try the double play here. Hill, and safe at first. Sepchinski wanted the call. Aaron Hill got it away rather quickly, but Teixeira beat out the throw.
For a big man, and I'm talking about Teixeira, he gets down there quickly. Nothing wrong with anything here. Good strong throw by Hill. Overbay tries to sell it to the first base umpire, Mark Wegner. You can tell from that relay that Teixeira beat it out. Another good call.
And the score tied at 2. And A-Rod. His second look at Zipchinski. Struck out back in the second inning.
I didn't realize Teixeira ran so well. I mean, that was a tailor-made double play coming from the right-handed batter's box, and he beat it. He had a play earlier this year that told me all I needed to know about Mark Teixeira. Do you remember that game against the Mets?
Oh, yes.
9th inning, pop-up. It looked like the game was going to be over. Frankie Rodriguez was on the mound. Teixeira was the runner at first base. Pop up to the second baseman, and he scored from shallow right field on that pop-up when it was dropped by Castillo. Taking nothing for granted. Again, from the right-handed batter's box, that's about 2 hops to the third baseman. And beats it, so it's an RBI for Teixeira.
Big fullback.
Tight end.
Yeah. Ball and 2 strikes to Rodriguez in a 2-2 game now. Teixeira and Rodriguez, 3-4 in the lineup, represent $50 million per season. $50 million corners. $50
million a year? I guess so.
2 guys, 25 mil up. Strike 3, second time looking tonight. However, the Yankees play a little small ball themselves and get back on the board. Last night they won 5-3. 2 runs here in the third ties this game up at 2. Yankees and Blue Jays now locked at 2 runs apiece as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Sergio Mitre to face Adam Lind, Lyle Overbay, and Vernon Wells. The Yankees claw back, scrape together 2 runs.
You want to be a championship team. You have got to play hard on every play. Can't say enough about that play right there by Teixeira to beat out that ground ball to get the tying run in. That's how you play winning ball.
The Yankees have been doing a lot of that winning through the years, and this season too. Did not make the playoffs last year.
You know, it's easy to hit a ball in that situation and top it 1st and 3rd and say, man, you feel sorry for yourself, and you just jog down the line and say, just assume that it's going to be a double play. But you can't. You can't play the game that way. You have to play hard on everything because you just don't know. Ties it up on a good hustle play.
Lind had a base hit in the 1st inning, scored a run. But right into the glove of Mr. Jeter.
3 for 3.
Yeah, a couple of liners last night right at him.
He might not have the range that he had 5-10 years ago, but he's smarter, studies the hitters, understands what pitchers are trying to do to him, and then positions himself correctly to make an easy play.
Is in impeccable shape as always.
I was watching him take ground balls today. Here's a guy who's done it all in baseball and still taking ground balls like it's the 7th game of the World Series, playing and practicing hard.
Here's Lyle Overbay. And Jeter realizes, Father Time is not kind to shortstops. Tough position to play. He's 35 now. It's a fascinating number. Of the past 56 playoff teams, none of those 56 playoff teams had a shortstop 35 years or older. I know.
I'm like,
I was when I heard it too. I'm going, okay, I got to put that in. Think about it.
56
playoff teams
baseball
over the last
playoff
few
teams
years.
Not had a shortstop over 35 years old. So I guess Cal Ripken played. So he's been gone for a while. Good chance that he'll break that streak. The way the Yankees are playing this year.
Three balls and 2 strikes now to Overbay. That also tells you, though, about the importance of the position and the range that you have. Cal Ripken was able to play a long time because, like Jeter, he worked hard.
It's a defensive position first.
Yes.
You're involved in so many things that the average fan doesn't see. Who's covering on a comeback or the steal? You're in charge of cutoffs and relays. You're in charge of a pop-up priority in the infield, let alone the higher percentage of balls going to you at shortstop. So it's a defensive position first, but it's also become an offensive position. There are some great offensive shortstops in baseball today.
Vernon Wells. Just like reunion week, it started already.
Yeah, that's great. It's great to see everybody.
And Sprague in the house. Going to join us shortly. Back-to-back reunion weekend. So Molino is going to come out and chat with Mitre. And again, if you're in the Toronto area, come down to the ballpark this weekend, in particular Friday night. 92-93. 16 and 17 years ago. You guys don't look any different. All the alumni will be honored. Almost everybody's coming back. Pre-game ceremony Friday night.
Autographs. If you're into autographs, pictures, all that kind of stuff. Memorabilia.
Ground ball to Hairston. To Sherratt. Tried to sell that, but Vernon Wells is safe at first base.
They're not going to turn a double play on Vernon Wells on a ball hit like that. Softly to third. It just takes too much time to get it around the diamond. And he has just too much speed. Wells busting it out of the box. And it beats it easily. Keeping the inning alive and a chance for Rios to do something.
And he did in the first. His 58th RBI on the season.
He's the kind of guy that can get hot and stay hot and carry a team because he's got home run power and extra base power in his bat. In an RBI slot here. Got some speed over at first base with Vernon Wells.
Last night we saw these economical quick innings from Pettit and Halladay. A lot of pitches already thrown here tonight. Vernon Wells is out at first base. Pegged down by Jose Molina. Catches Vernon Wells.
Tried it earlier this game. Dropped it this time. It works.
Ed Sprague will join us in a moment.
You know, we've been doing it. Everybody looks the same. You know, I think John Olerud hasn't changed a bit. That's for sure.
No, we saw him a couple of years ago.
He looks better. I think he can go out and get you.
He can still hit.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I guarantee you.
I know everybody's excited about this back-to-back reunion weekend. Do you still think about, particularly the home run, but the championship here in Toronto that you were with?
Yeah, I don't think about the home run. I mean, I really think about the journey we had as a team, and I mean, '92 was fantastic, getting called back up and going through it, and then '93 switching a lot of guys, and being able to come back and do it again as an everyday player was great.
That was a new team, basically, the '93 team. Pat Gillick believing that, hey, we got to turn this thing over to stay hungry. What was the difference? I mean, you played on both. What was the biggest difference?
Well, I think it was the same mix. I mean, I think the mix they had, was a combination of seasoned veterans, a couple key trades, and then some young and up and coming guys. I mean, I think that was the combination that they had, and it worked. And we got rid of some guys that were obviously key players in '92 and '93, be able to come back and replace those guys. You bring in a Dave Stewart, you bring in a Paul Molitor to be able to replace guys like Jimmy Key and Dave Winfield, and they did their homework. Those guys got in there and fit right in.
Great pitching staffs. I tell this story all the time. As Zemchitsky thinks he has a strikeout, he starts walking off the mound. Home plate umpire Rob Drake's not going to like that, seeing a young kid walk off the mound. But I talk about how good those staffs were as the ball is lifted to right field for the first out. In '92, when we went to the playoffs, Cito moved Todd Stottlemyre and David Wells to the bullpen.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier today. I mean, it was pretty much a 5-inning game. If we had the lead after 5 innings, you had Stottlemyre, you had Wells, you had Timlin, you had Dwayne Ward and Tom Hinkie. And it was just like by the end of the game, they had no chance. And it was pretty impressive. And I think that's the idea. Obviously, try to shorten the game as much as you can. And most guys try to shorten it to the 7th, and we were able to shorten it to the 5th.
And the starters were fantastic too in the playoffs. Morris, Coney, big game in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Juan Guzman, Jimmy Key. I mean, there's 9 pitchers right there who are tough.
Yeah. There were some guys that we definitely had some arms. People try to tell me, what was your rotation back then? We had so many good guys. It's hard to say, well, yeah, Stottlemyre, no, he was in the pen. Wells, oh yeah, he was in the pen. So it was hard to say. Well, I don't even remember what the rotation was.
Those Cone and Guzman, wow, incredible. It makes fun. It makes it fun because you come to the ballpark. Hey, we got a chance to win.
Yeah, that's when you got good pitching and guys are working fast. Putting the ball in play, it makes it much easier to play defense, and there's not a lot of pressure on the offense. You get a couple key hits, you get guys on, and obviously we had a great offense too. And I think I started the season, I think, hitting 6th, and by the time we made a bunch of trades, I was hitting 9th, so it was fine with me because there was, plenty of opportunities down at the end of the order as well.
What's it like now to come back to Toronto? Times have changed, things have changed, baseball's changed in many ways. What's it like now for you to come back?
It's great. I mean, I think this is, obviously they had a great start this year. I don't follow them a ton, but I follow them quite a bit, and, certainly with Cito, and, it's definitely a flashback with, Nick giving signs at third and Gino being the hitting instructor, and got to see Cito today, and not much has changed other than the clubhouse is a lot different,
How about that?
How about that?
It's pretty impressive. But it's great to see him. I'm glad they kept Doc. I think he's obviously a key deal for this, and you need a #1 starter if you want to put it all together. He's that and beyond. So hopefully they can continue to play well and put some things together.
Enjoy the next few days. Good to see you.
I appreciate having me on. Thank you very much.
Welcome back.
Can I be in your foursome tomorrow?
Yes.
You'll win if you are.
I know.
Yeah. around the corner.
This Sunday?
Yeah, preseason.
Wow.
So Eli Manning signed a big deal today.
Yeah.
Football talk. Bottom of 4. Mark Zipchinski, a 1-2-3. Top of the 4th for the Blue Jays. And so Alex Rios leads off here. First pitch, hacks down the right field line. Fly ball into the glove of Nick Swisher. Nice to see Ed Sprague. I think I said during the commercial break, when I think of Ed Sprague back to those days, guy could really launch it, play defense. But I think of eye black. He always had the eye black on those sunny
war
days.
Paint?
Oh yeah,
More like the war paint.
Yeah.
Good athlete.
Great athlete. Great athletic family.
Yes.
Including his wife.
Yes. Good athlete. Doesn't look like it. You know, you look like, well, he's a big, strong guy, but he could move. He's got great hands.
I don't think he's going to appreciate that now that he walked away and you said that.
What's that?
That he's not a great athlete. Doesn't look like it.
No, I said he didn't look like it.
Yeah.
I said he is a good athlete.
he
I mean, he can do a lot of things. Tom Candiotti's like that. Paul O'Neill's like that. They might not look like it, you know.
Stocky a little
but
bit.
Just good athletes. Good feet, good hand-eye coordination. He's a good golfer. I bet you he could bowl, play basketball, do whatever you want athletically. Came up as a catcher and then played third base.
Edwin Encarnacion, the third baseman right now for the Toronto Blue Jays. The heir to Scott Rowland, who was traded for Encarnacion, Josh Reneke.
You watch his actions at third base, and you can tell that he can be a good fielder. I know he made 23 errors one year, most of those throwing. But you watch him, his setup, his actions, his movement towards the ground ball, and he's got good soft hands. So that's something to build on and to help you become a better fielder. You just watch guys, and you can tell what guys have good actions. And Encarnacion has actions.
Big home run stroke last year for the Reds, 26 home runs. Broken bat over the head and over the glove of Jeter. If he ever saw that baby off.
A hitter will take that all the time. That bat died a hero. Sawed him off, but he got himself a base hit. Matre's got that power sinker, and that one right above the label, but strong enough to muscle the ball out in the left field for a hit.
Had a double last night. Second game at Rogers Center. Played a couple on the West Coast after the trade in Oakland. Rod Barajas now. Well, here's been this guy may not at the end of the year. You know, Aaron Hill, I'm sure, and Adam Lind and other guys are going to get most valuable player votes for the Blue Jays in 09. But you cannot discount what Rod Barajas has meant to this team.
How many different pitchers has he caught this year making their major league debut? Ball's lifted to right center field. Cabrera's under it. There have been 5 pitchers make their major league debut this year as a starter, and Barajas has had to learn every one of them. Find their strengths, recognize their weaknesses, incorporate them into what they want to try and do against the offense that they're facing. Barajas with some power. He caught that one off the end of the bat a little bit. But I agree. MVP votes for that and his ability to drive and runs, 46 driven in.
Joe Inglet. Johnny Damon coming hard, but bouncing into the third row. Seems that the Blue Jays are attacking a lot of the first pitches from Sergio Mitre now. Kind of the hitting philosophy for Cito Gaston and Gene Tennis and Blue Jay brass is when you see your pitch, Go after it.
Well, have a plan when you go up there. If you want to sit on a sinker early in the count, one of those fastballs that go down and away to left-handers, then go ahead and let it go. Never liked that philosophy of, okay, we're going to like wait until this guy throws 4 or 5 pitches. Best pitch you might get in a sequence might be the first one that you see. So be aggressive, but have an idea of what you want to do when you get up there and put a good swing on it.
The Yankee team is built on an offense based on seeing a lot of pitches and being patient at the plate. Their games are long.
Well, you know, it's not, I don't think they go up there saying, you know what, I'm going to have a good 5 or 6 pitch at bat right here. It's just, I think they have good strike zone awareness. They have an idea, and they can sense, and I know hitters can sense when pitchers are on the ropes. They can feel like, boy, this guy really doesn't want to challenge me. Pitching around me, or he's kind of nibbling on the corners. Good veteran hitters can sense that and feel it. Yankees do that. The Boston Red Sox do that. I think Tampa Bay is starting to get like that. And those type of teams are the teams that can come back from deficits in a game. They get down by 2 or 3 runs, they can come back and win ball games.
England had to wait for a moment just to make sure that the confirmation came from home plate umpire Rob Drake that it was indeed ball 4. So a runner now in scoring position in Encarnacion at second base. England has first on the walk, and with 2 away, top of the order for Toronto, Marco Scutaro makes his 3rd appearance of the night. Again, first pitch going after Mitre, but fouling it away. Another big house here tonight. Traveling circus, the New York Yankees. Bring out a lot of roadies.
I played for the Yankees in the minor leagues, but I got in one big league camp. And you're right, wherever they go, it's a circus. People everywhere, media, fans. It's something else. You're like rock stars.
Ball and a strike to Scutaro. You're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Maybe he only got in one game because he fell asleep on George Steinbrenner's couch.
Hey, I was young.
I love that story. You were tired.
It was a long day. I had just signed with the Yankees and went to New York to as a first-round draft pick to meet the front office, meet Mr. Steinbrenner, and we were going to stick around for a game that night. Sitting on a really nice leather couch in his office, I said, "Boy, I'm really tired. You think I can get a few winks here?" Ball down, running the count 3-2. The runners will be off now. So they said, "Sure." So I got to take a nap on Mr. Steinbrenner's couch.
So here we go. One of the biggest pitches of this early ball game right now from Mitre. Runners get a head start. Scutaro fouls it away. Of course, George Steinbrenner, his name all over the New York Yankees, but now, of course, controlled by his sons, Hank and Hal. try it all over again. The Blue Jays runners will get a head start here. Here's the payoff. Pounded right in front of Hairston, and that's out number 3. Blue Jays leave 2 on the base paths as we head to the 5th inning in a 2-2 game here in Toronto.
Form has changed in that short time. See the socks there?
Yeah.
And where the pant cuffed? Right about the top of the calf. Now it's all the way down.
A lot of guys wore them a little extra tight back then, too, didn't they? Not mentioning any names. No, not you. Jerry Hairston Jr. That was the era.
Sure.
Made that last put out. Then Jose Molina here in the 5th inning, a 2-2 game. Yankees and Blue Jays. Second game of this little mini series. Jays have the day off tomorrow. Their Jays Care Foundation golf tournament with all the alumni and their own players. Then reunion weekend here in Toronto. It seems so long ago from those championship years. There's a great, I guess you might even call a little irony with the Yankees, is that the Blue Jays have not made the postseason since that time. The Yankees have made the postseason since that time, with the exception of last year. After the Blue Jays' little run, the Yankees started running. They had not been to the postseason since 1981 before that. Had a lot of lean years, and down on strikes goes Hairston Jr.
Yeah, right after Toronto had that run, the Yankees started building something special.
Look at Jimmy Key in the house. Juan Guzman. And there's the Butler boys, Rob and Rich. Brothers from here in the Toronto area made it to the big leagues, and Robbie, of course, was part of the '93 championship team. So the guys are starting to filter into town.
And Joe Carter is going to be late.
You know why?
Right?
Yeah, it did not surprise me.
But
He always showed up late. He showed up, but look at that, bottom of the 9th.
better for our waistline, too,
Yeah.
that he's not coming on tonight. Huh?
He was Twittering earlier. Be careful, he's got the power of Twitter with him. But JC, always one thing, when he shows up,
Food is right behind
well,
him.
not only that, when he shows up, it's dramatic, as in home runs.
Yeah. He used to fill that table over there
Oh yeah,
with
He
food
did
during
some
all the
serious
broadcasts.
eating. That's what happens. I'm sure that happened to Bill Mazeroski for many years after he won with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Never paying for a meal, right?
Yeah. Win with a home run. They love you. I loved Joe before that, though. It didn't matter. Joe, in many ways, was the guy who initiated this back-to-back reunion.
Yep. That's where I first heard from it. Joe called this winter and said they were thinking about putting it together. Would you be interested? And I'm like, heck yes.
I would love to see you guys play a little baseball. Like a little,
would you like an old-timers thing?
Why not? And on strikes, Molina. 6 Ks now for Zepchinski.
How about if, first of all, Zepchinski turns over a ball and picks up his 6th strikeout in the 5th inning? Why don't you organize that and we'll take on some media people?
No.
Come on.
I just want to see you play.
Come on.
Yeah, what do we
take you on?
Yeah, right. No, they're
Bob, Scotty. We want to guarantee a W, man.
Well, you know what? We can do that. You guys have to wear blindfolds.
Okay. No, throw left-handed.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
throw with your opposite hand.
Derek Jeter. We might take you on in bowling or something. I'm excited about the nostalgic feel of this weekend. Derek Jeter. Probably have an alumni weekend down the road for him and the Yankees for all their world championships. And shortstop to shortstop. Scudero scooping. And a 1-2-3. Zepchinski has retired 7 in a row. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Aaron Hill will lead off, followed by Adam Lind and Lyle Overbay. 2-2 the score. Man, out there in the batter's eye in the black. 2-2 bottom of the 5th. Heart of the order coming up for the Blue Jays. Hairston makes a nice play and Aaron Hill's out.
Get a lot of ground ball outs when Mitre's got that sinker working. Good play by Hairston. Coming in hard on that ball that was topped by Hill.
And again, Blue Jays attacking that first pitch from Sergio Mitre.
Nothing wrong with that, I think. You know, if he's going to throw you a fastball, and he's throwing a lot of first pitch sinking fastballs, sit on it. If you get it, if it's right there, let it go.
Adam Lind lays off. Lind tonight a base hit. Also lined out to Derek Jeter at shortstop.
Makes it tough for the second batter in an inning.
This one is clobbered to right field, and you can kiss it goodbye.
Mitre has made 3 starts and given up just 1 home run with that sinking fastball. Tough to get the ball in the air, but when you make a mistake and you've got a pretty swing like Adam Lynn does, this is what's going to happen. Right down the middle. That is a classic left-handed power stroke right there. Deep to right field, no doubt about it. No chance. Right fielder Nick Swisher didn't even have to move. That ball carries for home run number 23 for Adam Lynn.
Blue Jays, a lot of watching of the long ball last night. 3 home runs hit by the Yankees, so they turn the power on here tonight. It's really the first big hit in this ball game. Number of singles, scrappy small ball. Adam Lynn with his 23rd on the season. Go with 72 RBIs. One thing about the Yankees, you have to put some runs on the board. You have to build a good lead.
You can't leave too many guys on there, on the bases. You can't. That ball is called strike 2. You can't leave them out there. You can't make mistakes either. 5 runners left on base for the Blue Jays through 4 innings.
Over Bay, rips one up the middle. And with 1 away, Joe Girardi says that's enough for Sergio Mitre. He's going to his bullpen. He has seen enough. The Blue Jays starting to get to Mitre here tonight, including Adam Lynn with his towering home run to right field. Blue Jays have a 3-2 lead. We have a pitching change. We'll come back to Rogers Center right after this.
Continually fell behind the hitters, just had a couple of walks and 3 strikeouts, but his pitch count up over 90 into the 5th inning, so he will give way to Alfredo Aceves, who was originally property of the Toronto Blue Jays. Signed by the Blue Jays as an undrafted free agent back in 2001, played a season for the Dominican Summer League. He made his major league debut last year versus Toronto, and in that game he retired all 6 batters he faced. And I think Joe Girardi is looking for lightning to strike twice. Earlier this year last month. In fact, he pitched against Toronto and tossed 4 scoreless innings in that game, looking for some length and looking to keep the game right here and have his offense to try and come back. First batter he will face will be Vernon Wells.
Wells, a liner that hooks into the seats. Vernon, a base hit, went the other way through the infield back in the first inning for an RBI. Reached on a fielder's choice in the third and then was caught leaning off the base, thrown out by Jose Molina. Overbay at first, 1 away. Hit hard again, but again into the seats.
2 of the exact same pitches, 2 exact swings, 2 same results. 0-2. Alfredo Cevis was complaining of a fatigued right shoulder. It shut him down for a little bit. Threw a side session a few days ago and says that he's fine. The long man out of the bullpen will get the first batter he faces.
3 foul balls from Vernon Wells, the last one into the mid of Hairston. Alex Rios, 1 for 2 night, will stride to the plate now. An RBI. Rios has had a lot of success against the Yankees, particularly in New York the last couple of seasons.
He had a hit streak against the Yankees. Something like 20, 25 games.
Unable to really put a big streak together this season, both Wells and Rios. Certainly not what they're capable of.
Yeah, you would see glimpses. Home run comes in bunches, but Alex Rios just has not been able to sustain it for longer periods of time.
Cevis way ahead here. And up high. Brushes him back a little. That is strike 3. Struggles continue for Rios. Not for Adam Lind. Big home run. Mitre's done. The Jays lead.
the difference in the game now.
Johnny Damon, as Mark Zepchinski works into the 6th inning. Only 3 Yankee hits tonight against the young left-hander.
Damon has 18 home runs. Hit number 18 last night off of Roy Halladay. He is now 6 shy of his career high.
Whoa. Just missed Johnny Damon.
Looked like a changeup from Zepchinski. You see him lick his fingers and dry that ball off.
Wow.
That one just got away from him. As a batter, that's what you want to do. You want to turn your head and turn your shoulders. You see Zepchinski not happy with that one. He didn't do that on purpose.
No. 2 balls and a strike. Damon crushes one to center field. Vernon Wells looking, watching, to the wall, and what a catch! What a catch by Vernon Wells. Spectacular.
Yeah, he made a grab in last night's game when he went to right center field and caught a basket catch. Went a long way. This one's even prettier. Damon stings at the dead center field. He's played this ballpark for many years. He knows where that wall is, times his jump perfectly, and takes away a hit from Johnny Damon.
Vernon's made even more spectacular catches through the years than that one, but it's the way that he went to that ball, shading Damon shallow and having to get back in a hurry.
Yeah, he read it off the bat, and he was aggressive going into the wall.
Now Mark Teixeira. Reached on a fielder's choice and a ground out, but Teixeira, of course, hit a bomb last night in the 8th inning. Well, that helps out Mark Zepchinski.
Just gives you confidence. Big difference facing Mark Teixeira with no out and runner at second base, and then A-Rod behind him. And nobody on, base is empty, and you can come from the full windup. That's one thing that I've been impressed with Mark Zepchinski is his poise and his confidence, his body language when he's out on that mound. Gets himself into trouble, but then will find a way to get out of it.
Really only a month into his big league career. Guy not even on the radar at the beginning of the season. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. And because of Brad Mills unable to go, he gets called up. Made his start. First big league start in Tampa. Did he get him? Yes, he did. Strikes out Mark Teixeira. 7 Ks for Zepchinski. 2 out. Time now for a Rogers Fast Fact, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's fastest mobile network, 3 times faster than any other. And since A-Rod returned to the lineup, Pat Tabler, on May the 8th, the Yankees are 51-27, the best record in the majors. Coincidence?
No. I think that's what he means to this team, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Mark Teixeira got off to a rough start also in the month of May, and once A-Rod went in right behind him in the lineup, Teixeira's taken off also.
527 career home runs. That 572. 573 would move him into a tie for 9th place. The killer. Ball and a strike. High fly ball. Wells calling for it, makes the catch. 1, 2, 3. Mark Zepchinski has now retired 10 in a row. Some great D and 7 strikeouts for the lefty. Saturday during reunion weekend, Robbie Alomar, Juan Guzman, Dave Steve, all the greats will be in the house. Back-to-back reunion. Junior Jays, you get to run the bases, get to see some of your heroes. If you're a Junior Jay, you weren't born. When the Blue Jays won the World Championships back-to-back. Edwin Encarnacion to lead off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Blue Jays cling to a 3-2 lead. How about Mark Zepchinski's performance so far here tonight?
Excellent. We talked at the top of the broadcast that the Yankees have got a great on-base percentage and that they lead the American League in base on balls. And Mark Zepchinski has given up one. That leadoff walk to Jerry Hairston in the 3rd inning. He almost had him on a check swing for a strikeout.
Seves with a great pitch there. Breaking ball fools Encarnacion, who goes swinging wildly.
He's got a good one. Struck out Alex Rios last inning to end that inning, and now this curveball gets Encarnacion. We talked about that win back in New York on July the 5th when he came in. Ball nubbed down in front of the plate. Molina makes the play. In that game, when he tossed 4 scoreless innings, he earned his first major league save. Gave up just 1 hit and 5 strikeouts in that game.
Molina showing off that good throwing arm. So here's Joe Englert, the number 9 hitter. One for one. That base hit came back in the 2nd inning. Walked in the 4th. We had a 1-run ball game last night and a great pitchers matchup. Andy Pettit, Roy Halladay. It was 2-1 to the late innings, and then the Yankees blew it open. And I'm sure that's why Cito Gaston is thinking right here, based on what Zepchinski's done so far. Got the bullpen stirring here. Middle of the lineup coming up. When you get to that 8th inning, it should be near the heart of the order again.
Yeah, you got to keep people ready. He's pitched wonderfully. If he gets into trouble and they need to face matchups from here on out, he's got some some players to work with down in that bullpen. Scott Richmond has been moved to the pen for about a week now until his next turn comes up. Josh Renicki's down there. They're all fresh. Halliday throwing a complete game yesterday and the day off on Monday, so everybody's ready.
Severs does a nice job here since coming in out of the bullpen for Joe Girardi and the Yankees. 2 strikeouts. We played 6. 3-2. The Blue Jays lead the Yankees. Robinson Cano and Melky Cabrera for New York.
How good has the pitching been with all the problems that the Blue Jays have had this year? With the injuries, the use of the minor leagues, you have to be impressed with what Zapchinski has done, and Cecil, Ricky Romero, Scott Richmond.
High fly ball deep to left field. Inglet watches it, and it goes. And the Bombers bomb again.
Late.
Tie ball game.
Nick Swisher does not have a lot of at-bats, but this is home run number 18. He knows he got enough of it, but when Inglet goes back, that one just paint scraped off the back wall.
Robinson Cano, and to the gap. Easily will get to second and is thinking about third. Will put the brakes on, and Cito Gaston, I'm sure, has a short leash right now on Mark Zapchinski.
Yeah,
wondering if that bullpen's ready.
He sensed something. You mentioned it in the top of the inning, that he's given 6 solid innings. And they had Renicky warming when this inning started.
And that looks like it's going to be it. Cito Gaston will come out. And how many times have we seen that too with young pitchers? 3 times through a lineup, teams start to figure stuff out.
Yeah, but still very impressed with the job that they have done. 3 hits coming into this inning, just 2 runs into the 7th inning. But they're the Yankees, and they do what they do best. They hit home runs. We are tied. Mark Zapchinski is over and out tonight.
Blue Jays on the hill now. Mark Zevchinski giving him a home run and then a double. First to Nick Swisher, the homer, then the double to Robinson Cano. Melky Cabrera due up now in a tie ball game.
Josh Renicky, just acquired for the Cincinnati Reds, will take over. These are his combined numbers with Cincinnati and Blue Jays. Lots of strikeouts when this youngster is throwing hard, 26 years old. 16 strikeouts in 14 of the third innings, and they need a strikeout pitcher here in this situation. This is where the Yankees play good situational, fundamental hitting, moving runners.
Squaring is Cabrera on Sunday. An unforgettable day for the cycle against the White Sox. Wasn't that interesting that he was facing Mr. Perfect?
Yeah.
Mark Burley was involved in less than a week with two memorable games, one by a member of the opposition. Cabrera, then Jerry Hairston. Nobody out here. Renicky can bring it.
Nice fluid action. The ball really explodes in a bunt situation. Pitchers will throw fastballs at the top of the strike zone, trying to get that batter to pop that ball up. It's hard to get that ball on the ground on a fastball that is up like that. Cabrera's struggled the first couple of pitches here. Will probably be asked to swing away now with 2 strikes.
Aaron Hill makes the out at first. There's one out, but 90 feet away from taking the lead is Robinson Cano.
Gives himself up. You see how he kind of spread out just a little bit more and his swing wasn't as aggressive. Just try to get the ball out in front and hook it. That'll move Cano up to third base, and the Yankees will go to their bench and make a change.
Hideki Matsui hit a home run in the 9th inning last night, center field, off of Roy Halladay.
See, I wouldn't even give him a chance right here to pinch hit. As soon as he was announced, I'd put my hand out and walk him and set up the double play with Molina on deck. Don't even give a good hitter like Matsui a chance to drive in that run with a long fly ball.
Barajas is in the squat. See how this plays out. Canadian-born third base coach Rob Thompson, bench coach for the Yankees last year, talking with Cano at third base. Matsui to left field. Inglet charging, a one-hopper, and the go-ahead run scores. Look for a moment that Joe Inglet didn't get a good read on that ball off the bat of Hideki Matsui.
Right, he was playing deep too, because you have to respect the power of Hideki Matsui. He showed it last night, hitting a home run to dead center field. So when the ball's flared to left field, you can see how deep Inglet is in left field, and no chance to get it. Cano scores easily on the RBI single.
Now Jose Molina. Your strategy being, the thinking being, maybe conventional, that you would give the pass to Matsui and pitch to Molina, and a good chance to get the double play and get out of this.
He's a veteran. He's left-handed. Remember, the Yankees are playing with a short bench tonight. Only 3 reserves on the bench. They sent down Cody Ransom before tonight's game and brought up another young pitcher. So they're only playing with 3 players on the bench. You take the bat out of Matsui's hand and then take your chances with Molina, the right-hander, and the slower runner. And it will be interesting to see what Joe Girardi does here now with Jerry Hairston out of the game and Matsui in. Does A-Rod come in and play third base and they don't use the DH the last couple of innings? We shall see. I know Eric Hinsky has played some third base.
Played it with the Blue Jays, of course. Hinsky's been around and he played last night. 3 balls and a strike to the Yankee catcher tonight, Jose Molina. The only bench players that Girardi has left, positional players, Eric Hinsky and Jorge Posada. And he walked Molina. So Josh Renicke's first appearance at the Rogers Center, not going exactly as planned so far. And the top of the order, Derek Jeter. The Yankees have assumed command here, leading 4-3. One for 3 night for Jeter.
We were talking a couple of innings ago about good veteran teams who can smell blood, where they feel like the pitcher is on the defensive out there. I'm not saying that Renicky is, but it's like the Yankees can feel it. Better at bats.
Pumps it up again, blows it by with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
This is where Jeter gets tough right here. Shoots the ball the other way. Stay hard.
Not this time.
Yeah, fastball right by him. Hitter's thinking, okay, he's going to drop a deuce on me here with 2 strikes, but Renicky throws one and blows it right by Jeter, who's tardy. Looking curveball, got the heater.
And the ever dangerous Johnny Damon in the batter's box now. 1 for 3 nights, strikeout, flyout, but a base hit and an RBI. Damon back in the 3rd. Two for 4 night last night, including a home run for Johnny Damon. Through all the years that he has played, almost now has matched as many games with the Yankees as he did with the Boston Red Sox. Of course, was with the Oakland A's too. Johnny Damon has been a very durable player.
He plays hard. Plays hard, and you're right. Plays lots of games year in and year out. Played on some very good winning teams.
Weak swing there. Renicky fools him on the slider. the other way. England coming home now, but Barajas dropped the ball. Matsui scored. They had him. They had Hideki Matsui at the plate. And now it's 5-3.
Matsui has had some leg problems the last few years. But Robbie Thompson, with 2 outs, has got to take a chance there to try and score that runner. Damon slaps at it, and here comes England. He charges hard, gets there on 1 bounce, and makes a good throw. But Barajas cannot come up with it. And Matsui would have been DOA at home. Slides in and touches home plate with that left hand.
The Yankees coming from behind, and now Mark Teixeira. Two on, 2 away. Switch hitting Teixeira, more power from the left side. And up the middle, and here comes the 6th run. And Damon scoots to third base. The Yankees almost batting around here in the 7th.
So I mean, they just have a feel. When they feel like a pitcher is on the ropes, their at-bats become a little bit better. Their production starts going up. Teixeira bangs one right back through the middle for another RBI. The 2nd of the night. Damon goes first to third. And they have batted around. Swisher led off this inning with a home run, a double. Followed that, A-Rod ended last inning.
Couple of ducks out there too, 2 on. Still 2 away. For 3 night for Alex Rodriguez. Struck out twice, flied out against Sepchinski. Rod Barajas takes one off the mats. The boos, of course, the derision has amplified this year when A-Rod goes to visitors' ballparks because of the steroid controversy, of course. Heard someone say the other day that, you know what, it doesn't matter, you know, fans don't care if the players use steroids. Some of the fans don't care. I thought that was a very careless statement. You know, they just want to see the gameplay. They don't care anymore. You know, they still will cheer their heroes on no matter if they use steroids or not. I don't share that opinion.
No, neither do I.
I think it forever taints a player. And A-Rod walks.
And that will draw Brad Arnsberg, Toronto's pitching coach, for a talk. I asked him one day, I said, Arnie, what kind of things do you say to pitchers when you go out there? He says a lot of times it's, you know, you just say, hey, you know, you got a good fastball. Let's use that. You know, you'll see things, you know, maybe they're opening up their shoulder too much or their stride is too long. But for the most part, it's more of a pep talk and trying to get their confidence up. There's not a whole lot you can say during a game to kind of get a guy back into the strike zone if he's struggling with that. So you just say, hey, you know, you got a good fastball, you got your arm up, everything looks good. Let's go right after this batter and make good pitches. not a whole lot you could say.
No, especially right now. This inning has been a disaster for the Blue Jays. Began with a home run by Nick Swisher, who now comes to the plate again for the second time in this inning. Then the double by Cano, and Renicky came in and didn't fare much better. The late inning Yankees, as they were last night. The switch hitting Swisher.
He loves hitting home runs on the road this year. 18 home runs this year on the road. 18 home runs on the season, 15 of them on the road. Hard to believe more home runs on the road than in the launching pad at Yankee Stadium.
He can put this out too. Swisher homered a few times in his career from both sides of the plate in a game. How about both sides of the plate in an inning?
Home run swing right here. That's a breaking ball that gets under the bat, but Swisher was thinking about hitting 2 in 1 inning.
Ball and 2 strikes. Doesn't get the call. Swisher has done it 9 times in his career, homering in the same game from both sides of the plate. Twice this season. Base is full. 2-2, 2 out.
He is one of 2 active players to homer from both sides of the plate in the same game at least 9 times in their career. The other being big Tony Clark, who's done it 10 times.
Happy Yankee fans here. Blue Jays need to end it here and get their hitting shoes on. Down 3. Toronto had a 2-0 lead in the first inning. Yankees erased it, tied it at 2 in the third. The Jays had a 3-2 lead thanks to the Adam Lind home run, but Yankees have again turned on the power here in the 7th inning with 4 and may not be done. Now look at this 3-2 pitch coming with bases full.
It's where you shut out the base runners. You shut off all that, concentrate on where you want to throw this ball. Runners will get a big jump here.
Got him. Might be a big pitch in this ball game, depending on what the Blue Jays offense can muster. The Jays give up 4 here. Renicky gets the guy who started it all off in the 7th. just makes the headlines day in and day out, doesn't he? He is the human Twitter. Wow.
Speaking of A-Rod.
Well, he's at third base, so the Yankees, because of that short bench.
Yep. You have to do it. You have to bring the DH in, so they will not play with the DH the rest of the way of this game. A-Rod comes in to play third base. And the pitcher will bat in the 8th spot.
Earn their DH here, and they have to. So after the stretch here at Rogers Center, and a very long inning for Mark Zepchinski first, and then Josh Renicky. The Yankees score 4 times. The Blue Jays now try to get to the Yankee bullpen. Marco Scutaro, Aaron Hill, Adam Lind. For night for Scutaro, also for Aaron Hill. Leadoff guy will try to get it started. Big cut there. Going to the stands. A little hot potato down there for the souvenir. It looks like a Blue Jay fan in the middle of all those Yankee fans has a baseball. Marco Scutaro has shown this season he gets tough. 2 strikes against him.
Yeah, after an 0-2 count, he's got the best batting average in the American League.
Good eye. Works to a full count. Also got a great percentage of getting on base. And that leadoff spot. Jays need base runners right now. High and hard to left center field, going back and watching it go. Marco Scutaro, solo shot.
That'll help to get it started. Highest batting average in American League when he falls behind 0-2. Does it again with his 9th home run. Ichiro is second on that list. Ball is up in the strike zone. And a good swing put on it by Scutaro.
Now Aaron Hill. The lead shrinks to 2. Scutaro, 9th home run, 47th RBI. Love the attitude from Marco Scutaro.
Yeah,
he just loves to play this game.
Having a fantastic year. After 0-2, Marco Scutaro's batting average .458 this year. Ichiro has the most hits after an 0-2 count, 13. Scutaro now has 12. Concentration, good idea at the plate, paying dividends.
Aaron Hill right to Derek Jeter. So the hit streak right now remaining 13 games, and 0 for 4 night for Aaron Hill, bringing up Adam Lind in his last at bat. He homered, so Joe Girardi's now waiting. He's going to go to the left-hander in the bullpen.
He only has one.
That's it.
And that's Phil Cope, so he's going to play him right here. The Blue Jays inch closer with a home run by Marco Scutaro. Now down just by 2.
From St. Paul, Alberta. They won an opportunity to spend batting practice with Aaron Hill. The Jays Care Foundation, an online auction, and thrill of a lifetime. It says it all. Aaron Hill left those kids speechless today.
Yeah, he was out here early giving them some batting tips. They got to take some BP down on the field.
It was nice.
Adam
Lind. 2 for 3 tonight. Home run, single. Phil Cope, the left-hander. The only lefty in the bullpen for the Yankees. The way this ball is jumping tonight, Blue Jays not out of this game by any stretch.
No, they aren't. They have shown their ability to come back. Last night they were right there against one of the best of all time. Vernon Wells, if he elevates that ball, we're tied. Jose Bautista sent a drive to left center field, so they have had the ability to come back against good relievers. Good numbers for Phil Cope this year.
Lind lining one to left field, and Johnny Damon tracks it down.
Cope was selected by the Yankees in the 26th round of the 2002 draft. So you don't have to be a number 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're good, they'll find you. Doesn't matter what round you go in.
And if you get a chance, you never know what can happen. Work hard. Wait for your moment.
And take advantage of it. Seemed to all come together for him last year when he was named the minor league pitcher of the year in the Yankees farm system. When he was at Double-A, he went 11-6. He was a starter in the minor leagues. Transitioned into the bullpen, and now the only lefty that Joe Girardi has out there.
Mile over Bay, 2 strikes against him. Blue Jays' perfect example of a Phil Cope type is Scott Richmond. Undrafted, not on the radar screen, and all of a sudden getting a chance. Blue Jays going to get Scott Richmond back. And that is strike 3. Overbay looking at it, so Joe Girardi pulling the right switches here. 6-4, New York.
On the other hand, go back to their bullpen. Jesse Carlson makes an appearance. Last time we saw him was last Friday when he had a clean inning against the Oakland A's out there in Oakland. Jesse now tied for 9th in the American League with the 48 appearances. This is number 49. All year long, he was up in the top 3. But his work has been cut down a little bit. He's now 9th in the AL. The first batter he will face will be Robinson Cano. Carlson features a good sinking fastball and a good breaking ball. Left-hander is hitting .257 against Jesse Carlson this year.
Robinson, Cano, Melky Cabrera, and then that spot in the order where Jerry Hairston existed. Then Hideki Matsui came in to pinch hit, and now
it's working out nicely for Joe Girardi. He brings in his left-hander to face the 2 left-handed batters. He gets both of them, and now he can pinch hit for them. And he can bring in a right-hander if he wants to face Wells, Rios, and Encarnacion.
Yankees beginning the night in first place, a game and a half up on Boston. 64-42 on the season. All the concern at the beginning of the year has been allayed now when the Yankees are without A-Rod and off to a slow start. The Blue Jays were in first place. 2-2. Foul away. Tampa Bay Rays, Tabby, leading the Red Sox tonight. They're in the 8th, 6-3 Rays. Victor Martinez and Jason Bay have homered for the Red Sox. The Rays have out-hit Boston 7-6 so far. The other way down the line, and it just drops fair. Englert has a tough time with it in the corner. And Robinson Cano has his 2nd straight double.
That's why if all things go well one year, Cano is going to put it together, and I think he's going to win a batting title because he has the ability to spray the ball all over the field. 2 strikes against a left-hander who will drop down and throw breaking balls, and he gets good wood on it and slashes it down the left field line for extra bases. England overruns it, doesn't play it off the wall extremely well. And Cano has his second double of the night. You add the power that he has in his production, he fields his position well.
Fly ball out to Alex Rios from Melky Cabrera. Quickly getting to third base, and again 90 feet away from scoring with 1 away is Cano. Great hustle there.
Cabrera's done a good job tonight. His last 2 times up, sacrificing his at-bats. Team player, moving runners along, and now a chance for Hinsky to drive in a run. Eric Hinsky pinch hitting in the pitcher's spot.
Boo Birds rain out for the former Jay. Former Rookie of the Year in the American League, Walla Jay. And this was the spot in the batting order where Jerry Hairston was pinch hit for Hideki Matsui, and then as A-Rod, the DH tonight, had to play third base. Technically now the pitcher's spot. Hinsky tags one to right field, but Alex Rios hauls it in. It will be good enough to put another run on the board for New York.
Yeah, we were talking last night about the power for the Yankees, second in the American League in home runs, but their situational hitting tonight has been A+. They get the run back that they gave up in the bottom of the inning to the Blue Jays. They get it back with a double and a couple of long fly balls, and that's why you see the whole bench up giving Eric Hinsky high fives. Those kind of runs are killers. You know, you get some momentum with the home run by Scudero, and you say, okay, maybe there's a chance we're only down by 2 runs, a bloop and a blast, and we're right back in it. And the Yankees or the opposition, doesn't matter who it is, comes right back and boom, puts it right back on you.
And especially with the leadoff guy in the inning, able to manufacture it. Jose Molina, 0 for 2 night, also a walk and a run scored. Other news today in baseball, you know, the Blue Jays and their bullpen in a bit of disarray this year with their closer situation. Of course, B.J. Ryan was the de facto closer and then hurt and then again being released as Molina walks again tonight. Derek Jeter now coming up. B.J. Ryan decided to become a free agent again. It's not the Chicago Cubs AAA team in Iowa.
There was a certain date that he had to be called up by the Cubs.
5 2/3 innings, no runs, no hits, 5 walks and 4 strikeouts for B.J. Ryan, who now once again is looking for work. Still getting paid by the Blue Jays. Jeter, that inside-out swing. This is out number 3, but again, attack on run by the New York Yankees. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Vernon Wells, Alex Rios, and Edwin Encarnacion. Alex Rios. Blue Jays need the very least one here. The Yankees are nearly impossible to beat heading to the 9th inning with the lead. And that's why. Getting better with age.
Hughes has the ability to get outs up in the strike zone. Can't say that about everybody. This fastball kind of looks like it comes from a low trajectory and just elevates. It's a lot of strikeouts, high fastballs in the zone.
At the knees, inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rios. Base hit, fly out, strikeout.
First batter he faced last night was Rios, and he got him with a breaking ball, but not this time.
Little looper into shallow right center field. So with 1 away here, Blue Jays trying to keep the pulse beating. Edwin Encarnacion, 1 for 3.
Good time for your first home run here as Jay.
He's a guy who hit 26 of them last year with the Cincinnati Reds. Said this year he wanted to be a little more of a consistent hitter for average. Wanted to spread the ball a little more, go to the opposite field. Encarnacion. That was a dead pull hitter for a while.
Played in a great hitter's ballpark in Cincinnati.
Two balls and a strike with Rios at first. Jays need a couple of runs at the very least, as mentioned, as Mariano Rivera is warming up. Last night we saw Rivera make an earlier appearance than usual into the 8th inning. Blue Jays made it a bit of a nervous 9th for the future Hall of Famer. Breaking pitch in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Rod Barajas is on deck.
We got a shot of Rivera warming up, and Joe Girardi was saying that he already had his mind made up last night that Rivera was, if the situation came up, he was going to use him for a 4-out save. But tonight, I don't think so. As you see Brian Bruni warm up, and Encarnacion is down on strikes. There's Rivera just kind of getting loose, not throwing, just getting that wing loose. Here's that last pitch. Hughes has a good breaking ball. Slider on the inner half. Freezes Encarnacion.
So Barajas 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of ground outs and a fly ball out to center field. Full moon over the dome. It's wide open tonight. Indoor baseball last night. Tampa leading Boston 6-4, bottom of the 8th, down in St. Petersburg. Jack Rios once again. If you're just joining us, the Blue Jays open the scoring. 2 in the first inning. Yankees tied it in the 3rd. Blue Jays went ahead in the 5th on an Adam Lind home run, and then 4 in the 7th. 1 in the 8th. That's where we're at. Gets away, Rios to second base.
2 nights in a row that we have seen Yankee catchers crossed up by Phil Hughes.
Jorge Posada last night.
And now they have a runner at second base, so they have to go out there and talk about their signs, what they want to use. Molina had no chance on this pitch from Hughes. Looking for breaking ball. Zoop right over his head. Right by him.
That's strike 3. Phil Hughes with a couple of strikeouts. Alex Rios stranded at second base. A 3-run Yankee lead. Brian Talent coming into the game as we head to the 9th inning tonight in Toronto. And under a full moon, Toronto Blue Jays trailed the New York Yankees heading to the 9th inning, 7-4. Johnny Damon against Brian Talent.
Talent made his first relief appearance last Friday. First relief appearance since April the 13th.
Damon, does he do it again? For the second straight night, he goes deep. Last night in the 8th inning, tonight in the 9th.
He hits it off of a left-handed pitcher. 19 home runs now on the season, 5 of them against a lefty. Damon, watch him kind of double clutch, stay back, and then that low inside fastball or breaking ball. You don't want to throw a pitch to a left-handed low ball hitter like that. Down and in. And he parks it in right field for the home run, number 19.
Mark Teixeira. So interesting to see Johnny Damon. He's a guy who's become so valuable to any team he's played on. But here's a guy who absolutely broke the hearts of New York Yankee fans and the curse of the Bambino.
Yeah.
And now a Yankee. And still a flair for the dramatic. Outstanding ball player. Teixeira down on strikes.
Talent hasn't had a problem against right-handers this year. One of his strong points when he was starting, he was backdooring that cutter to righties like this. Right-handed batters give up on it, and it sneaks over the outside part of the plate. Teixeira can only watch. Righties hitting just over 200 against Brian Talent this year.
A-Rod down to Encarnacion. The clutch and the toss. The Yankees had a leadoff home run in the 9th last night from Hideki Matsui. I watch those poker games, and there's lots of them on television. You know, those are the poker things. And
yeah.
They got the guy with all the chips, and he goes all in all the time, and he just smears everybody else. That's the way the Yankees play baseball sometimes. Even when they got this little slim lead, they keep pouring it on, don't they?
Yeah.
They want all your chips.
They just have that that ability. We talked about it all night about how they can just sense when the team is down, and they come out and just try to kick you when you're down. They know how to win on the road also. And that is a sign of a championship type of team when they can go on the road and win. They have the second best winning percentage in the American League. Only the Los Angeles Angels have a better winning percentage on the road this year.
And despite what some fans may think, you know, the Yankees with a big payroll and they're only doing it in recent years, yes, they have. And yes, they've been in the playoffs a lot of years, except for last season, of course. But guess what? That was the culture that existed here in Toronto.
Yes.
From the mid-'80s into 1993. That same kind of put your spikes on the jugular. Scudero. But more insurance for the New York Yankees and another home run tonight. And once again, Johnny Damon. We get to the bottom of the 9th, and the Yankees look to sweep this little mini set. City, Vancouver. Wendy's Friday Night Football. As we head to the bottom of the ninth inning, and the New York Yankees putting their foot down on the Toronto Blue Jays again in the late innings. Seventh inning on, scoring 4 in the seventh, 1 in the eighth, 1 in the ninth, and leading 8-4.
And with that run that the Yankees get in the top of the ninth inning, it's no longer a save situation. We saw Brian Bruni, like he was warming up. David Robinson will now come in 1-1 with a 372 earned run average. This is his 30th game of the season. He does have a save. Robertson started the year in Scranton Wilkes-Barre, was 0-3 with 3 saves, but his ERA was under 2.
Sergio Mitre began this game. Fredo Aceves came in, Phil Koch, Phil Hughes, and now Robertson. Not a save situation by any stretch now with a 4-run lead, but should have developed into one. There is always number 42 out there. Wow. Ball bouncing into the stands and then back out into the field. Breaking pitch. 3 pitches, 3 strikes.
They showed the stats for Robertson. 29 innings and 40 strikeouts. This is number 41. A good overhand curveball. Tight spin. Joe Ingles swings right over the top of it.
Top of the order. 1 away. Marco Scutaro homered in his last at bat. Aaron Hill on deck will have a chance to keep his hit streak going. Small consolation right now. Two teams that have gone in opposite directions since May. Scutaro delivers a base hit.
Another 2-strike hit for Marco Scutaro. Shorten it up. Shorten up your swing, track that ball. Pitch up and he gets on top of it. That's a tough pitch to stay on top of. You got to keep your hands up above the ball so the barrel of the bat stays over the ball and you hit it on the line. If you don't, it's a pop-up. Scutaro has been on base 3 times now tonight.
So just in case Robertson struggles here with Aaron Hill up and then Adam Lind, and just in case it gets to a save situation, guess who's lurking?
If you're a Yankee fan, you got to hope that maybe you don't need Rivera tonight.
You need him over the next 4 days.
Yeah, you need him against the Red Sox. 4-run lead. Even that little soft tossing that he's doing right now, getting ready. I'd rather see him just kind of like take it easy and save it. for the weekend. But first things first, you got to win to get into that weekend.
Yankees have had a number of different ways to bridge to Rivera over the last couple of seasons. They don't want to build that bridge here tonight. Just want to end it here. 2 strikes to Aaron Hill. Strike 3.
Wow.
Whoa, he can't believe it. An 0 for 5 night for Aaron Hill, and the hit streak, for all intents and purposes, will come to an end.
He had a 15-gamer a couple of years ago. This one looked like it was way inside. Well, it's strike 3, and the Jays are down to their last out. That's something you don't see often from Aaron Hill, striking out 3 times in one game.
And Adam Lind also had a home run tonight. That was back in the 5th inning when it looked good for the Toronto Blue Jays. A disastrous 7th inning. Last night it was the 8th. Tonight the 7th did the Jays in. Two strikes to Lind. Missing outside. Jays will be in New York next week. 7-game homestand for the Yankees, 4 against the Red Sox starting tomorrow night. Looks like Toronto will have to rally hard in this season series.
Good teams know how to win games late, and the Yankees have done that against the Jays the last 2 nights.
From the 7th inning on. Last night they did it. They did it again here tonight.
Yankees have scored 9 runs from the 7th inning on, counting last night and tonight. 6 here tonight. 3 solo home runs in last night's game. They've outscored the Jays from the 7th inning on 9-3. Good teams know how to win games, especially late.
No get up, no let up. Yankees know how to put the hammer down. Ask Roy Halladay last night, ask Mark Zipchinski tonight. Josh Renicky, who came in. This will be the ball game. And the Yankees do it to the Blue Jays again. Late inning heroics. And again, the long ball was pivotal.
Yeah, the bullpen did a good job for the Yankees tonight to bring it on home, but it's the home run ball that is tonight's TSN turning point. And that belongs to that man right there, Nick Swisher, leading off the 7th inning against Mark Zipchinski. Down by a run. He sees a pitch he likes and deposits it into the bullpen in left field for his 18th home run, and he jump starts a big inning for the Yankees.
Big crowd here the last couple of nights. Watch the Yankees and the Blue Jays.